Tu B'Shvat, like all good Jews, Yom Tovim, were invented, was invented like all the other good ones, like Lemurshal.
Like Boim.
Exactly, and which other ones?
Hanukkah.
What?
Hanukkah.
Not exactly. Hanukkah was a little before that.
No, but based on your sharing of Hanukkah this year, like
Basically, all the cool stuff in Yiddishkeit were invented by old Eden and Ashkenaz
So
1,000 years ago. By Simchas Torah, by mitzvahs, Bris Milas, Pidyon Abens, basically everything. I'm writing now about Bar Mitzvah, so it's one of the things that they invented. Kitzer Amas, this weiß was uns so, but es du aber der christliche Masse.
Who was it invented by? What did you say?
The first Eden of Ashkenaz, the Bani Gershom and his friends. Be'erach. His wife. Weiß nicht wer.
But not like Boim did.
Yeah, of course.
What?
Wait a minute. And Tu B'Shvat, by the way, Tu B'Shvat also. Yeah, of course.
Like, really? Like Boim did?
Like Boim and Tu B'Shvat, das steht in der Shira. Boim and Tu B'Shvat were Ashkenazische Yom der Pagres, noch von der Zeit von schon in Ashkenaz, of course.
See, history is important.
And could be that goes back to Eretz Yisrael before that, but yeah. Could be it goes back before Ezra, ich weiß nicht, wie die Ashkenazische Yidden sind gewesen, but like before him, at least for 1,000 years. So, now the point is something else. The point is, I don't know how to start. But there's a Chassidische Masse that says in the first Mekar for it is a Psalm Ezrachist. Tom tun nicht gleich, man schlecht als a Chassidische Masse. But anyways, two Chassidische Masse and they vein. That the Kotzker Rebbe, or one of these Polish Rebbes, they said, Meshus B'Shvat, as do Rebbe Peiris Eretz Yisrael, Mastres, and such things. But he said that Eretz Yisrael darf nicht reden so viel, weil dort man geht raus in the Feld und man geht Maser, so eine Sort Wort hat gesagt. Now, this is not true. Why not? Why is it not true? Firstly, it's too Zionist. Too Aliyah Shniya Zionist, nicht Stam Zionist. Too Zionist in the sense that Aliyah Yisrael means Bulgarian arbeiten in der Feld. Also will ich zum Seufe von was after the Geneichu, you know. But this is not Push Pshat, right? There's another Chassidish word that's closer to there. That is an original word. This could be its original. I think the Aliyu Kitov or someone invented it. But I forget who. I looked it up once. Two andere Chassidische Masse, wenn Kisayt Slam Chumu, right? You know, das weiß doch der Binnen gesagt, ja? Hello. Der Heilige Rabbin hat gesagt, that the Kisayt Slam Chumu Vechu says in the Chassidische Sura meint, famous Ayaytze, you know, the great jihad. And he said that this is hand to get out and was in Angulas, so the chat from the Pusik is Mechem Sayaytz. But when it's Yisrael, when it's Yom Mashiach, or when Samuel Gewein, then was the Pshat is Gewein Malchumah. There was a Dreimer, Mechem Sayaytz, but that was the Pshat. And now this is the Pshat. And the Chassidim, the Farshim, Mitchetzich, the Sheremia. And all this Mitchetzich, what the Rebbe was trying to say. But the Pashtus, or Pitzionis, the Rebbe was trying to notice the non-political or non-oilem hazedig state of the Torah bisman hazeh, which is a problem. Stimmt? Right? So he was saying that, you know, we read Gesaitza and let's be real, it's not talking about Mechem Zayaytze, it's talking about a war, and there's haluchas, if Astoyas, the Titzach, the Masters. And it's like we're getting a secondary to. And the Shrim basically says this Pshat, this thing, that there's something wrong with this being the Pshat. Not mamish. He doesn't mamish say it in this way, but that's basically it. Anyways, that's the same part of Chmishuz B'Shvat. It's not a good pshat for Chmishuz B'Shvat because nothing actually happens in Chmishuz B'Shvat. It's not really a agricultural day, right? Just the opposite. Yeah. There's man, the masters or Allah, whatever it is that Chmishuz B'Shvat does is not because something happens to the fruit trees nowadays. Not like if you go in at Yisrael, you'll see fruit trees starting to come or something. Right? Not like the children learn that there's shunah for the trees. And he says, because it's just the opposite. It's because there's nothing going on with the trees, so it's one of the best time where we could make a cutoff. Nothing is basically growing, because it's not going to be hard. We're not going to have a lot of problems with things that were today, yesterday, and so on. Let's push the pshat. Stimmt, so it's not really correct. This was a fantasy of how it Yisrael is in Olam HaGashmi, but it's not actually like that in Olam HaGashmi.
Because they were never there, that's why they said this.
Exactly, it's gemein. Stam, it's Yisrael, we got raus, we say nicht gut, it's a lamtische Sache, we got chille. It's just the opposite, the lamtim, they found a time when it's not nicht gut, it's only a technical legal thing, it's a taxier thing, you know. That's one thing. Second thing is that this whole idea of Eretz Yisrael being Indian of agriculture is Bayis Rishon. So we're not in Bayis Rishon for a very long time. And Bayis Shani was the urban Bayis HaMikdash. You know this Drusha already, you know? We talked about Sachanik, I think. And V'safte Geneichu was in his battle already. So by Chichaz Klanovi. That's not the one we're looking for anymore. Maybe Afshir Ochet, weiß nicht. Kapunim, and there's nothing so great. It's actually not so great to have to go work in the fields. For that we have Omdi Zurim, Veruit Zaincha, Ma'aicha, Kermaicha, Vechareicha, whatever it says in the Pusik over there. For that we have the people from Thailand, and Nebuch the Hamas Chat Zeochet. That's what it's about. So that's not the pshat. Only the Aliyah Shniya, communist people had this fantasy, and never worked out for them either. You know, Ben Gurion worked on a field for like 3 months, and arbeit nach Office. Arbeit nach Office, nicht wahr? That's not that's like the progress of civilization. It's not like Indian to go back. Okay, we need food also, it's important, but it's not the main thing. Anyways, what did I want to say about this? So this is my opening of Chassidish Torah. There's also the Menachem Breslev was also worried about this. Because Menachem Breslev very famously traveled to Yisrael in the middle of the Napoleon's wars for some reason. I mean, that's good that when it was. And he even got captured and ganze Masse, bekitzer. And he traveled to Yisrael, weißt du? And nobody knows why. He himself didn't know why. He said many reasons. But then the Menachem said, his big thing was that everything he knew until he came to Yisrael was gunished. He said he should delete all the Torahs that he told them before he went to Yisrael. Only good Torahs are the ones that he said after he came to Yisrael. And one time the Chassidim asked him, the Rebbe, so he's studied a lot of Torahs in the Kitim Baran, especially in the later Torahs. He's very busy with Eretz Yisrael, so a lot of Torahs about Kiddush Eretz Yisrael, B'chinas Eretz Yisrael. And the Chassidim wanted to know what was mine the Rebbe, and the Rebbe had been in Eretz Yisrael. Like, what are you talking about? And then one time he got frustrated and he told them, Eretz Yisrael means the houses, the buildings, the apartments, that's what it means. You go there, that's what I mean. And he said he shouldn't think, people think that Eretz Yisrael is special, you know. He said the people in Europe in those days, they used to bring rocks or stones from Eretz Yisrael, like in Kaiver or Nashil. And he said they used to be white. They brought the sand from the beach. He said, "Grad, I was in Eretz Yisrael. Most of the sand there is normal sand. Thank God, there's a few places. Up here, there's also some places we can get white sand. It's not special sand. We're going to do that. All right, you know the Maas with the Basayan. Yeah? Chassidish Maasas. The Oil Megaturim T'chazak Chassidish Maasas. Read all the Amuris Torah's Maasas and all the, I don't know who else. All this, the Friedman's Maasas. The Oil Nafas Ken also, like basic Torah Shabbat Peh. Otherwise, you don't have idea of Yiddishkeit. Yeah, but we don't have Nebuch. You can go listen to Bianca's tapes and read Tim Moires and Kafs Kennen, read Buber's book, Aragunas. Are you laughing at me? Halochas, you asked me what to read. Now I told you, one of the things you should read. I'll give you a few good Mekoiris. Read all Slonim books, Miskayim Esboina, Mar Matcha, told you, and so on. Bekitzer, what was I saying? Schich Saran, Chaim Aran, Chili. Psich Sefer Kodesh. Bekitzer, no, I should give you a longer list. What am I? You're not going to read it.
So many books before that.
No, these are easy. This line by Gavre Legavre. So what was I saying? Was I gesagt?
Basayin.
The Basayin when before he went to Yisrael, he found up some Meshilach in Yisrael. He told him, tell me about Yisrael. So the Meshilach told him, at Yisrael, every stone is a diamond. And the Basayin went to Yisrael and he saw stones and rocks. And one day, at Yisrael, he made a Sida. It was the Sida. Today he started noticing how all the stones are diamonds. And anyway, this is a basic problem. Very basic problem. And it's not a problem. So what I want to say about this.
What's the problem?
What's the problem?
Yeah.
The problem is, as Heilige Brisker Ruf, someone once told him that the Belleville Brisker, nicht der Shabbat, and the last Ruf from Stutt Brisk. Someone once asked him that he heard that the Stake Medina, but you know, this is Stake Schwierigkeit, but it's Chav the Mashiach, and Chav the Mashiach, and Lushan Chav the Leide, and then you get a baby. So maybe it was worth it. So Brisker habe gesagt, als dieses, wenn es wird geboren ein Kind zum Sof, aber wenn es wird geboren ein Katz zum Sof, ich kann Chav the Leide, it wasn't worth. Is that the problem?
The real anti-Zion.
Become more explicit.
Sheet.
This is the anti-Zion, the Shina Chalashon. This is a pro-Zion is the Kedisha sheet. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to talk about a problem. The problem is, as Yidden, for a very long time, and including me and you, they have to get into this problem. And not solve it easily, because I think that there's two easy ways of solving it that they're fake. Yidden for a very long time dreamed of Eretz Yisrael, okay? You could read the Device the Mass, Einer gesagt, Rabbi Levi wrote all these great poems and whole books about how he went to Eretz Yisrael, and then he came to Eretz Yisrael and he died. That's the myth, at least. You know why he died? Because he didn't see Eretz Yisrael that he was looking for. Nebuch. Yeah. And Nachman has stories about this, about how whatever you imagine in your shtakus are never good as the thing itself. Therefore, it's better never to have it. Kind of crazy ideas like that. Yeah, you know the mushkil from the
pleasure proximity theory.
There.
Be close enough to your desires that you can feel them, but not close enough that you can touch them.
Yeah, you should never achieve your desires, because then, like very existentialist. So, very seriously. Again, we don't really know Yehuda Levi, but the Ashkenazi Yidden for 1,000 years, they have much more love than Yehuda Levi to put together, you know, right? This is pro-Ashkenaz, Beis Medrash. The Yidden in Ashkenaz, also unlike what the Lushan Hara that the Chassidim like to say about them, which is such nonsense, Yidden in Ashkenaz were the biggest romantics ever. And Bechlal, Germany is a very romantic place, everyone knows, right? They later, like Mamish, the what's his name, made them into like people think German, they make machines and all this hype. That's like 3 people in I forgot where, in one gegend in Germany. Most of Germany, I'm going to drink beer and chuleman. Just telling you. The ganze Enya from this is the schille from these 2 things that gets you crazy, but verstehst, yeah?
The opposite idea of a yaki.
Yeah. Yakis are not real. Also, Yakis are great. By the way, Yakis are romantic people. I just have these kind. Yeah, of course.
Which ones?
All of them. You know, Chap.
I haven't seen that many romantic.
Ich hab mal so wie der Stein, was
Verstein nicht. They just have a lot of Kailim and a lot of, even the ones that we know, Gretchen is how it's really supposed to be. Even the ones that I know. What do you mean? Like someone that I don't know. It's so hard to explain, because it's like people when you tell people, when you read the Blues Rakales and the Reb Shimon against his poetry, and they say this is robotic poetry. It's not robotic poetry. It has a lot of side, it has a lot of order, it has a lot of systemization. It goes with the Aleph Bayes backwards and forwards, but it's all about love. It's not about following the law. Just to be clear, Ashkenaz was never about following the law. We don't really care about the laws. We care about the Menhugim. Very important. Menhugim have to be followed to the dot. Because otherwise, it's like a symphony, right? You do like use one note. The guy that plays the symphony and he makbar on every note. You know, like the Moshe Rebbe, he said in Gan Eden, because he's not going to miss even the 1/8 of a note. In Gehenim, they sing all the songs 1 tune off. You know, that's the Gehenim. That's not the gemeint zu sagen. That's not Gviris. I mean, it's Gviris, like it says in Zohar, that Shira comes from Gviris, but it's love. It's not. It's just very organized. Anyways, this how do I get to this? Yeah, so these Yidden, since the beginning of time in the Rhineland, in the 10th century or 9th century, they were dreaming of Eretz Yisrael. And they wrote poetry and liturgy, and they wrote pictures. You see the old Agudas, there's pictures of Eretz Yisrael. It looks like a little shtetl in Germany, like with a tower and knights walking around. Kitzur, this was their imagination of how it's going to look. And Eliyahu coming, all these nice pictures. These pictures are later, but anyway, that's how they imagined it. And it was supposed to be amazing. You know, the Reb Chaim Cohen said that we shouldn't go to Eretz Yisrael, right? It's too hard. There's mitzvahs leis bura, it's lohnt sich nicht. But he was not a crazy guy. People, you could think of him, I'm just trying to explain something. Also, Rav Burton, I think, almost thinks something like that. You can think of him as a Shiggin. Think about it, right? We, in this Besmedrash, like in the hunting Besmedrash, that we're Chavayrim of which very much don't hold of this Reb Chaim Cohen. Why? Because the Kedish says it's a role the gewaltige thing. Turns out you have to know Hilchas Trimas, and there's only Yerushalmi, it's hard to figure out what the halacha is. Nobody knows. And someone even wrote Haguv. And you know, like, he real. And because he's like, it's like someone saying, I'm not going to keep Shabbos because Chamoyre from the Kpaidas from the. It's a very weird thing to say, but that's not what he's saying. That's a dumb way of reading it. What he's saying is, like like what? Like Lubavitch Rebbe used to say. People used to tell him, when you come, that's when I'm coming with Mashiach. Or like the Heilige Rizhna is asked, why didn't you go to Etzrol? He said, I'll come with Mane Eden. Ich komme nicht allein. He has this idea of Etzrol, and like it says in the Medrash, right? It's like a whole oilem mitzvahs, it's a whole like enchanted world where we have mitzvahs and we make trimas and masres and the kanim singen and the levim dancing, whatever, the opposite. And you tell me, you could go, yeah, and live in the old city over there with some tzibarachen Arabis, with karuam. Be real, that's not what it's for, right? And now, it's very important that the Reb Chaim Sonnefeld, who was one of the last Ashkenazi Yidden, wrote a letter, beautiful letter to the Arab people. Read the letter? It was printed in the newspaper, and so in Hebrew and I think also in Arabic. And it says like this: there was the Mehumat HaKotel in 1928 or something, and the Arabs are saying one of the beginning of their thing was that Yidden are taking over Arabayas, and since then this has been the Machlokas. You know, right? And Chaim also wrote a letter to like this, and the whole thing started because they wanted to make a mechitza by the koisel. So Chaim wrote a letter, a very long letter, and it says something like this. Rabbi Dov Lando says we should go with his derech, so we have to try to figure out what his derech is. I'm going to send you the letter. I'm saying also Vanik, so whatever I'm saying wrong, but my impression was like this. It says, look, I'm living here for like 70 years already. I'm Al Ta'id. We came here to be happy with everyone. Of course, we don't want to take away anyone's chazukas. Everyone should have in their Mekomos HaKadoshim, the Eden and Zaire, the Arabis and Zaire. His name is Gunish Tzi. And it's a long letter, and therefore please calm down everyone. Nobody's here to take anything besides Tzachashtun. There's no such plans and so on. And then it says, and like now he has a problem because he's the Chayit. He's not lying. There's a big problem. He's like, Yibuna, Migdosh, whatever, and he looks at me, hast nicht complain, what's going on? So my friend, my Zionist friends are very upset when you say such things. What do you mean? Like the Kizri says, you're a shakran, he says, and the meinst nicht. Of course, so Mashiach will come, and then the whole world will be happy. Let's say the Gimlech al Kol Amen. Of course, we'll have the Migdash. You're going to be happy also. That's what it says. It's very important to realize because it was a Tzioni, right? I mean a Tzioni. What was Reb Chaim Sonnefeld a Tzioni? You know Reb Chaim Sonnefeld, when the Arabs made Machus, he was makbet to go through the Shuk in Shah Shechem. We're not giving up on, ich bin gein de gas of die makes gein. Come. The echte Zioni. He came to Yisrael to be a Zioni, to be Miyashavet Yisrael. It wasn't L'Shem to make a koil. The koil was wait to be Miyashavet Yisrael. He was also pro being Miyashavet Yisrael ben Poel Mamish. He was pro the Moshavot, the Frima Moshavot. It was a real Zioni, right? But what did he have? What am I trying to... I'm not going to be able to describe this very well. But what you see here is the... like very old-fashioned, the same dream that Reb Rasha had when he was talking about Eretz Yisrael, Chaim Zonfeld still had, even though he lived in Eretz Yisrael. He imagined the Beis HaMikdash in the same exact way. He said, Kim Five and Himmel, he mentioned that's not a real question, right? Everyone knows, that's not the Shal. Nobody really is makbid that will come in Five and Himmel. But there's a certain dream and a certain Kedisha, right? Just like you say, Shabbos or Yom Tov, Psa, certain taste or certain Kedisha, certain... it's very hard to explain what it means if you were never there. And this is what people have dreamt about Yisrael all the time. You know, Yisrael is a place where it's Shabbos the whole week. Basic concept, right? Sefer says, right? Or someone. You know, where you finish in Chitzlers, that's where you start in Yisrael. Like, there's Arizal, the Nadias, you know, that make a lot of Beridim and so on until a certain level, and Yisrael, that's where it starts. That's basic understanding of how Yid imagines Yisrael. It says in all the Piyutim and everywhere. And this is the Jewish dream. This is the Tikva Sadoires. Von dem redt man. And of course, there's a big problem with this dream, which is that
Get there and it doesn't look like it.
exactly, and which means that
You have to change it away.
either what do we people do? You know this. This is how this is how the world, your brain works, right? You have a prediction, and when you meet the world that doesn't work, either you change your prediction or you change the world, right? Tu mahalchem, right? You know this? Called predictive processing. Is one of the coolest new ways of understanding the world. Predictive coding, and it says that this is how life, all of life, basically works like this. This is stimmt mit Aristotle and Plato and all these Tifatoris. And anyways, it basically works like this. We have a plan or a dream, and we realize that the world isn't like that, and there's only two things to do. Either you change the dream or you change the world. Or you become a Yish, which is a way of not having a dream at all. Or you break the world, which is a way of not having a world at all. But basically, those are the options. And of course, always the easy way to do is just to change the dream. Okay, so man nicht is gemeint, man gemeint the Katz. It can't be, where it's all killer, it can't be. It's not worth it.
Isn't there an in-between?
Aschalte de Gille. That's the solution. Yeah? Yeah? Yeah?
That's changing the world, just starting.
It's changing the world to get to your dream.
Yeah,
Moving it ever so
What?
slightly in the direction of your dream. No, that's not people do. This sounds, at least the way you're saying, his opinion seems more like to just stay completely stationary and expect
What?
it to
Falt
happen.
gaan stationary. Who stays stationary? Rav Zonneveld?
Yeah.
Not at all. He's living in Eretz Yisrael. He's literally building Eretz Yisrael. K'pshita mamash. He's mekayim etzatlias buratz. He's living there. He's building buildings. He's interested in even... Ich meine, nicht zwischen uns gesagt, he's interested in buying the house of Narabim, liking that Yidden.
Why does he see that?
That's step one, ich meine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Step zero. Ich weiß nicht, welcher Step es ist. Was meint das, wo in Eretz Yisrael? Es meint, kein Gott zu weinen dort, right?
He's doing both.
Of course he's doing the first step. That's thinking Chitz Loretz. He's also not against there being a Jewish autonomy, just to be clear. I mean, he told the British people that. The Peel Commission. Peel Commission. He also said that he's not Mavatra on the whole thing. I'm asking David to some kind of deal. No, The only important thing, and this is the first point that I have to make. The only important thing is that it's not true what that word from the Kotzker Rebbe supposedly about Chemishus B'Shvat. If you came to Yisrael and you didn't see that all the rocks are diamonds, you didn't count it. That's a story that the Messiah met but she came to Yisrael and he met that Mashiach. He told us, he told me, I know there's no diamonds. Dive more, learn more, maybe you'll figure it out. That's what the guy told me. That's the first thing. And there's so many Torahs that we listen to that are about like, things like Kimah Shema Ma'aluretz, The Torah is all about bringing the things Shechina B'Tachtoinen and all kinds of things of that. And it turns out that means just being B'Tachtoinen. What is the Shechina exactly? That's why we have to go through this whole Hashem about to make Yechidim, to talk with Elyonovi, to find out that we should all sit here on the couch and fres papitas. Doesn't make sense. Or you could say you have to put on a certain glasses. Okay, we'll think about that. And that can't be. We shouldn't be mashlim with this. We also shouldn't say, yeah, that's how it works. Dreams aren't as good are better than reality. That's not true. Reality has to be much better than dreams. The real people, the things that and we know this, the things that you really dream about, it's not really true because let's understand. I have to say a lot more things, but let's understand. Stimmt, can't be. Has to really make everything make sense, right? It says in the Nechumas, all kinds of things like this. I don't remember the language now. But it says in Tehillim, some chayne kimosin is sunni. That we ask to make us happy, like the days of our pain. Now what this means is, and that's literal pshat of all the Nechumas of Yeshaya, Novi, and the other Nevi'im, that the Nechumah is supposed to make all the pain make sense. It's miyashiv the kasha. Vashem Baruch is achras Eiv Marashisa. It's supposed to be a teretz on the kasha. That's really the teretz on the Eiv's kasha. It has to be good enough for that, right? And if you say, okay, now the Shibud Malchus, the going will kill us less or a different way. It wasn't about that. Kitzur Hamasa is, and how do I know this? Okay, so can we have to Vim Toim, stimmt, not maske, but Vim Toim. I was once in the museum in Crown Heights. The Children's Museum over there, across from 770, and over there they have a the Lubavitcher Rebbe taught that you should try to be Mitzvah and Mashiach for the children. There used to be a big mural it was ruined. Last time I was there, so it's not there anymore now. Big, like a whole block on Kingston Avenue that had like the Goz Ivim Kaves, Vendana Metziim Ko'ofar, like pictures. And anyways, in that museum they have also like a whole thing of Yimasa Mashiach, how it's going to work. Pictures, videos. And it shows like there's like a video, going to like a whole room, I think, big. You see all the Eden from Arba Kant Vestaivel walking towards the Beis HaMikdash, which looks like the weird Hellenistic Binyan Hardis, but okay. And shine. And now, like this is childish. Either you're Chassidish Yidda say Mashiach, the Gagshoma this Mashiach. Yashma'ani kra al'ane kol chai, ani Hashem elikaychem, achman. This is a nice picture, but okay, maybe it's good for a kid. Or you're like a overkletid and like, maybe they don't fall off planes at the Peshaten, like man, if they have to come from the Shura, and if there's going to be if they drive in a car in the desert, man, was. But this is what all our Zayed is for 1,000 years, more than 1,000 years, but at least for 1,000 years. That's pertinent, because before that there was a different chana. Anyways, for 1,000 years, this is exactly what every Yid dreamed. Exactly. Lo yipuchas v'lo yoyser. V'atam telikti echad echad l'bnei Yisrael. And just to be clear, this dream is also what made everything else that happened also. Not a different dream. But also, we have to, I don't know. I think it's a good dream. It was always a good dream, it was always true.
Why can you envision a dream that's dressed as dreamlike, but it's just more, it's better. It's a better vision. When you say if you replace Kanfe and Ashar, like literal eagle's wings, like you ignore that part and you make it important that what will people's daily lives actually be like, actually think about that and actually have a real vision of that, then it's the same dream. It's the same amount of dream going on. You're not minimizing the dream, you're just making it's a more positive.
Because it's not better. I mean to say, what I mean it's not better. It's very hard because I'm always talking in like images and it's not clear what the images mean, right? And it's not clear that we could make them mean something without losing what they meant.
Artistically meaning?
Every Yid, okay. I have to have a context here. I'm missing context. If you're a Chassidish Yid, like if you're a Chassidish Yid, then you have a certain everyone. I can give you maybe other versions also. But if you're a Chassidish Yid, for example, then you have I'll start with this one. I know it a little bit. If you're a Chassidish Yid, then you have a vision of the world, like every human being has something like this, which has good and bad, right? There's a scale of good and bad, from the very worst until the very best. Okay. Now, the very best. It always includes external goods, and nobody's really thinking differently. But the very best is something like, Well, I could say something like this. There's mincha from weekdays, and there's mincha from Shabbos, and there's mincha from Yom Kippur, and the Ila from Yom Kippur, and Seder, Pesach, and there's mincha from Tisha B'Av, and these are like grades of one is better than the other. Macht sense? It's more Kiddush and also more good. One is better. Whenever you think of like a human being is always aiming for being better, one thing to be better, you're trying to make things being better, it's moving in some sense along this scale. Maybe there's a lot of dimensions on this scale, but more or less along such a scale. This is where it's the best. Or if you're like a simple Yid from the Piet of the Crusades, then the worst situation is when the Goy comes in your house and rapes your wife and kills your children. And the best situation is when you do it to him. Don't do it to him, but macht him gitten kommen, okay? There's actually a Piet that says exactly this.
Listen to the Piet for sure.
It doesn't say I'm gonna do that to him, but the kids of Hushelish Chanainish Resayim El Chaykom, and we're gonna avenge our blood.
This is one of the sportas tainas on us.
This is the story. What?
Sportas taina on us. You tell everyone it's gonna be a peaceful takeover of Mashiach. But for the Ashkenazim, they're gonna get revenge.
That's richtig. But this is just not to get into this. Like it's a very powerful image, but I mean, you read. But it's like a certain gradation of what is the good situation and what is the bad situation, right? And just to be clear, that Germans killed 6 million Jews and then we got a state with the United Nations, that's not that. Ob wir wollten geschachten 6 Millionen German babies of the Schar von der Pesach Migdash, dann muss man zu reden von einem Mashiach. You understand? Basic logic. Okay, make it as good as that, okay? If it's not as good as that, then it's the fake. Verstehst? Mit Chzul, mit ein Tag moment. Okay, how much moment? Nicht genig. $10 billion, whatever the stupid reparations are. It's not enough money. Didn't go bankrupt from it yet, 3 times. It's not serious. Or if you have a different vision of what good is, I don't know. If someone is some kind of communist and socialist, and he thinks that bad is when you have to gamble from your friend to sell to the other friend for that penny more. And good is when everyone works towards one goal and one person is. Then you know what the worst is and what the middle is and what the best is.
Well, among those visions, is there a better one?
Of course, that's what Yiddishkeit is about, figuring out which is the correct vision.
Right,
that's what the ethics
so
is.
I'm saying this. That's what I was trying to say. That this one is saying very nice. The highest ideal for them, but maybe we can get past that and get to even better.
It has to be has to actually be better. That's the problem. That's what I was saying when you do all these transformations. Like Sadbim Berachnis, like Lubavitch Rebbe is a Lechem Milchamas Hashem. Listen, if you would have as much power as Napoleon in his Milchamas Hashem of getting people to put on tefillin, then it would be real. But it's not. It doesn't work. You get what I'm saying? Maybe there's a exchange rate between being a actual general like Alexander that was never lost a battle, and being Lubavitch Rebbe who never loses an argument. Yeah, but he didn't win so many arguments like Napoleon won battles. Even if the mushla is good, even if it's better to win an argument than to win a battle, he's still not as good. So it's very nice that you made a transformation from Gashmis Rachnis, but you're not as good.
Fair enough.
So then doesn't answer the question, right? That's not what we meant. You understand?
You say when you move on, you could end up minimizing. Tend to minimize.
We lose the realness of anything. Everything becomes wishy-washy. Everything becomes and basically giving up on the dream instead of really accomplishing it. You want to say that's better? That my friend, you want to tell me that my Eltazad, I don't know, someone, he dreamt of, something that you think is bad. I actually don't know what's the thing that you think is bad, because I think they're all good things. But he dreamt of something that is bad. Okay, what's the problem with that?
No.
A cloud. You know that the Yidden in Tufni and Chaz literally said that their cloud is coming to take them to Israel. They literally believed that, and literally went out at night. And there's goyim that write about this and laughing at the Yidden. Literally going out at night to wait for the cloud to take them to Israel.
Where is this?
In Shabbat Tzvi's times, in the year 1420, whatever it was. I'm sorry. I'm wrong with the years. I'm wrong with the years. Okay, whichever year. There's actually such descriptions of Eden doing this. And just to be clear, if it's not as easy as that and as good as that, then your airplane doesn't replace it, even if it's better than that.
Why does it have to be worse? Are you saying it has to be or it tends to be worse?
It has to be better.
I know, but when people make this exchange,
if you want to tell me that Yid was stupid, then that's another way of saying that Yid suffered for nothing. And that's very nice. Look, there were people from the times of Cheslanovi and whatever saying of the Tikvasani, and we suffered for nothing. But that's not the idea of Mashiach. It needs to make all the suffering make sense, which means including that person who wanted a cloud to come and take him to Eretz Yisrael. Now, does it have to be a literal cloud? It has to be something better than that.
Suffering is because that's what is dreaming.
But does it have to be worse than that? Well, could it be better than that? Could you think of something better than the cloud?
Well, you tell me what's something better. Yeah, it could be better, but it can't be worse. It can't be like we stuff ourselves onto a halal plane, which they Betiva Magudel make cheaper tickets.
Fair enough,
more expensive.
But when people make this transition, do they tend to make it lose
always
the vision,
always worse. A lot worse. A lot worse.
Is it necessary so? Is it necessary to lose that vision?
Is it necessary?
Then the claim would be is that let's
all the people that I know. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. I have even rise. That's what happened. That is what happened for the most part. Does it have to? No, it doesn't happen. We're here to resolve the problem. It doesn't have to.
It feels like it has to, even though in reality it doesn't have to.
It has. It has to because of this. It has to because of the ladder to heaven being destroyed, right? Because of things not being realistic, and we have to only believe in things that are very realistic. right? And since that's not realistic, so that guy was Mashiach. And Taka Kasha will never be fanfit. And there's something else. Mashiach Bubes Chadas, the one you're waiting for, they're never going to come. All these kinds of Torahs. I don't agree with them.
You don't agree because you think they're minimizing the vision risk.
Because they're doing a classic mistake of like, classic modernist mistake of like when something was too good to dream of, so we'll stop dreaming of it.
You would be okay with someone coming in and saying they're not dreaming enough, we could dream even better.
Oh, for sure.
Like
Nobody's
Shabbos
dreaming
in a
enough.
certain way did it like really good.
Yeah, relatively.
Right.
Shabbos Tzvi and Lubavitch Rebbe, just to be clear, all these people, they're dreaming of the traditional Mashiach. They're trying to make it even better. Shabbos Tzvi said,
Right.
and Rav Nachman after him, the Mashiach is not going to fight wars, he's going to sing songs, and like the Pied Piper, people will fall for him. Okay.
Except for Ashkenazim.
Yeah. No, but in any case, no, that's the other guy laughing at him. That's what, okay, no problem. Not against that. But it has to be as good. By the way, of course it's as good. It's even better. Man, be real. Of course it's better, right?
What, the way he had it?
But the problem is that once you win, it can't be better like that. You know the problem, right?
What? What did you say?
Okay, this is different shmis. The Tamach Tum Lechatim is very complicated. This is besser. I think as me Brut Hitler for 10 million Jahren etwas Zeure Sachas, oder als Hitler kommt in also es steht in der Pusik, wo im Luchem im Naich, es Resaim in Kesaich, ja, Paim Eretz Ishtachvilach, Ishtachvilach kol b'nei Ma'anaich, which is better. If he does it mirutzen, then that one is much better. It's much bigger than Nekoma. The problem is that he's going to do it ba'oinus, and then I'm a Kamagai and Mashiach, because Agra is a Chachma. Now, of course you want that. Verstehst? You have to make this peace deal before we win. Otherwise, it's going to schwert. Right? It has to be merutzen, otherwise it doesn't work. That's why the nice way of winning wars has a time limit. That's what it says in the Rambam. Right? And the Krieg goes like this. If you want to be Shulim with us, no problem. But the Berege was then it's Adredita. Then there's no more. You can't make Shulim in the middle. Hello? That's not the reason. The reason is because then it's not serious. We're going to lose auch. Like the lights in Hantik. That's what the UN is all about. They make peace after the one guy lost, and they tell the other guy that's not Shulim. Then he lost to pay the price, right?
And another thing is in the Rambam is that the first option should be the better option.
Of course, it's better. No, it's better also for the Yetzirah of Nekoma. It's really better.
You feel better.
It's why do you feel better?
That's what I'm saying.
But you don't feel better after the Yanim Tishlog. Cheshbon is bad. That's just about that. So, what did I say? Okay, so this is the problem, and it's hard. I didn't say it's not possible. It's hard. I mean, you have to realize that there were Yidden and like the Yeshiva Chodesh, the New Zionist Aliyah Yisrael sort of ruined this because they stopped dreaming. Some of them had dreams, like I'm not saying, but they start not good enough. Great dreams? No, too realistic. They were too realistic. Their dreams. They were not dreams enough. But yeah, in some sense, like David Ben Gurion used to say that he's a really messianic Jew, and Yehudi Mashiachi mod, and he thinks that the Medina wasn't created yet. That was like his thing they used to say, and after he stopped being there, like we won the war, but we didn't yet create a state. Yeah. Yeah, but it's still not enough. Still not enough. There's a very big minimization of the dream, or like giving up on the greater dream at the heart of this whole thing. Wasn't it? Yeah,
When you make one for this guy Cody, like you make a great mitzvah to vote, like because you're thinking gates or something. It's like that's your thing. You get up into like this booth and pull a lever. Like they can't shut your dream down by that and say, oh, mama's what kind of the dream.
It also makes a lot of sense this is why all the people that really love All the people that love the old Ashkenaz poetry don't love the Jewish state. Budik Menese. Nu klal. All the people that say that the slichas are weird and they don't make sense and they're so sad, they like the Jewish state. All the people that love slichas and kenes, not because by the way, slichas is also full of love. I don't know, people don't read it and they complain about things that they don't read. You just read it and you see. All of it is supposed to make you cry out of love. It's not like the most, not all of them, but most of them.
Well, the rest of the 6 Day War, a lot of them is actually like in the middle of Kenneth, they just walk.
Yeah, of course. Of course, I mean, they're gerecht, but
At least they have something they're willing to.
very nice, very nice. But this is exactly what it means, that you gave up on what the Kines was talking about. Right, the Medrash says, something like that. And the Medrash says, it's a mushal, that there was a woman who, that your children came and said, your donkeys came, on the donkey riders came, and so on. Everything that she got, she said, so whoever that's Nagayat to should be happy. And this is what all the kennes are about. I mean, of course, there's other, as ich du kann the andere Sachen noch aggressere zu. But there isn't the real thing. And all in the end of the day, all you have to remember something. The Yidden did something crazy, which is that they said, like, and we laugh at this, but it's not. It's true. The Yidden say, you know when I'm going to be happy? Why am I not happy? Because because the tifla is higher than the bismedrash species. Because there was a law in Europe that the tifla has to be higher than the bismedrash. Also in Muslim lands, in the mosque has to always. That's why all the tiflas have a tower, and the bismedrash don't have towers. Why? It was often very much across the street, because it's in the center of the town. Tifla steht 2 Stock and steht 1 Stock. How much beaches? Right? And when are we going to fix this? Sometimes there was always some canoe that went and broke the tifla and 2 masses and stuff. But seriously, that's not the solution, right? What?
A lot of people get killed from that.
There were a lot of stilly Jews in that way. But that's not the solution, right? What's the solution? When are we going to have back our pride? A Mashiach comes. Right? When we build the Beis HaMikdash, when we have Eretz Yisrael, Yerushalayim, Tzfas, Tveri, whatever, maybe not. That's when there's this crazy tying of everything to the only one really good thing.
Okay.
Nishba Kodesh Baruch Hu, Leve b'Yerushalayim shel Ma'ala, Ad Shiva b'Yerushalayim shel Mata. There's a shvir, and David HaMelech made a shvir. Metzen shnas la'an lefha b'tanimu ad emtze mukim la'Hashem mishknes la'avir Yaakov. And the Yidden and Bovel made a shvir, right? Tidbak l'shoini l'chikem im lo ya'ales Yerushalayim l'reish simchusi. Right? They're saying, I have my daughter is getting married. I'm very happy. There's no reason for me not to be happy. But I swear I won't be happy. This has to be a shvir because it doesn't really make sense. It's not really connected one with the other. But he swore to connect it. And we're divorcing this shvir. We're saying we're going to be happy even though it's not. It's really a shame. And that's the whole deal is based on this.
I think a claim on the other way is that sometimes if you're never happy, even when things get even slightly better, then your dream is not really a real dream.
Says the Heilige Gemara other than you. Says the Heilige Gemara, because Baitar, the Eden were pretty happy. They said, Yerushalayim, okay, we're happy here, we have Baruch Hashem, we even have a Jewish king, or a governor, today governor, tomorrow king, what's the difference? We're happy, and we're doing well. Says the Gemara, they don't deserve to do well. True story. Actually, they were churif because of that. This is a political observation, not a rachnistic thing only, right? It's saying that you can't live like this. This is what Herzl, this is one thing that he noticed, right? He said you can't be a successful Jew in Vienna. Only can be a successful Jew in Vienna if you build a Beis Hamikdash. Theodor Herzl actually wanted to build a Beis Hamikdash. It says Beferish in his book they were going to build a Beis Hamikdash. Unlike what anyone will tell you, I've read it, and it says they were going to build a Beis Hamikdash. Perish. Es kann be bei viele Cholam, sie sagen, geht das fantastisch, ist geil sein, aber es ist geil sein. Kann nicht sein, ob es... And he's going to be the Frei that doesn't come. The chaps. That was geil. This is the thing. The Rabbunim will go there and he'll go to the opera. But that was his dream. But that's what he did. That was the big thing. In that sense, in that sense, Zionism is that shvir, right? That's the. In any case, but in the sense of the people that are giving up on that, that's not working. So now, Chavaraya is the ganze drusha. And the Raya is, what's the Raya? My Raya that this was always a good dream, and that we should continue to have this dream, called October 7th. And it's only one symbol, but it's a symbol of a much bigger thing, really. And it's basically the reality that this shura, this giving up on the dream doesn't work. Doesn't work. And on the other hand, what do I mean it doesn't work? It could work. What I mean doesn't work is, this is important, that what can be and what can't be, and even when you accomplish something, what can happen to it and what can't happen to it, this like can't. Kan nirzahan, lo yachal liyot, is not even half or a quarter or a tenth or a hundredth as stable as it seemed to people. And when did it seem like this to people? I don't know. I think that according to my sociological theory that I said here already, the people, and it's true, generally true, since like 1970, right?
Whatever then.
And more precisely like 1976. What happened then? The 60s ended. Also something that happened. A lot of babies were born, or really babies were born to people that didn't remember Hitler. Israel lost and then won the Yom Kippur War. What else happened? Satmar Rebbe died. The Kaladorahi. There it is. Certain. A little later, 79 already. And the Kitzur HaMaseh is that people decided, you have to understand something. In 1950, 1940s, 1950s, all the Eden, every single one of them thought the Mashiach could come tomorrow. Literally could. Not just as a guide, often as a guide, maybe something worse can happen, but he could. How did they know? You could talk to people that were there, they'd tell you this. You know how they knew? Because 5 minutes ago, they were sitting eating chulent in Varsha and in Krukke and in Tarno, and 5 seconds later, they were in a death camp, being sent into crematoriums. And 7 seconds later, the Americans and the Russians were coming to take them out, put them in some weird DP camp in Germany, nobody knows what it's for. And 7 seconds later, they're going to Etzrol on a stolen ship under the British patrols and stealing their guns and trying to shoot the British or the Arabs, I'm not sure who delegates. This is, under the Werther, you cannot expect anything. You might as well expect Mashiach to come. Now you might as well. It really makes sense, right? What's mean Mashiach? Again, doesn't mean a cloud or a... Nice, we'll figure out exactly. Nobody really makbel that should be a cloud or a fire or a Ahmed Aish, with the fruit. That's not the problem. But it makes a lot of sense. This is, people, we laugh at this. Like, every Yedem will look them get Mashiach. It's because if Mashiach is this hope for the greatest change for the good that it's possible, it's very disorienting, right? It has to change a lot of things. And people, besides for people thinking that the Mashiach name of the going when it's Israel, besides for that, there's change doesn't seem realistic to us when we have this imagination of things being very stable. And therefore, people who actually live in non-stable times, Mashiach can actually come then, and it makes sense to them. And when they sing over there, "Animam b'minishlam b'vias HaMashiach," Chakle b'cholim shliva, meint es ernst. Es wasn't the insingen is da sich misragisch zu werden, weißt du? Sie gewinnen Aid in the train gesingen this. It's a good way to, like it's called in catharsis in the Greeks, right? Just people like being emotional, so gewünscht. But this guy, he was 100% for real. It makes just as much sense that Mashiach should come tomorrow morning as it makes sense that he's on this train. Es macht Sinn, dass auf der Train ist, ein normaler Mensch macht Sinn. Einer sich kennt vorstellen, Vater, was kann geschehen. Macht doch einfach Sinn, dass Mashiach soll kommen. Why not? And just be real, why not? I'm serious. Also, ich kann sagen. Wer ist Mashiach? Da bringt ein Zettel, das eine kommt von dort mit Adine. Get into stupid questions. So whatever it is that we're thinking of Mashiach, that's what can happen.
The problem with this, whatever it is that maybe they tend to not
Good
make the
things
world slightly
didn't happen. Bad things does happen. So it
Good
makes
things
sense.
happen all the
1940 that
time.
Another bad thing happened.
Good things happen all the time. This is Tam Shtissen.
Good things like this.
Of course.
Good things like Mashiach.
As good things as Mashiach.
Yeah, in the last 1,000 years, like from 1940 looking
All the
back.
time. Oh, of course.
Yeah, okay.
Of course.
No problem. I
Of course.
disagree. Which things like Mashiach happened?
I mean, Mashiach is supposed to be the best thing. I'm going to ruin myself if I say that things as good as that happen. But I think good things happen all the time. What are you talking about? Of course good things happen all the time. Crazy good things that you didn't expect.
Meaning in our psyche, there's always this thing, like I won't be surprised, right, in a certain way. Let's say next month we're going to all be in the matzah of 1940.
I wouldn't be
right?
surprised.
Because this is how like our mind works from the history that we expect after every 100 years, whatever, we're doomed, basically, yeah? This is how it happened for the last 1,000 years. Yeah?
I'm not asking about this.
Oh, you're not asking?
No, Eden were surprised. If they wouldn't have been surprised, it wouldn't have happened.
Of course surprised in a certain sense, of course,
So.
but not compared to this Mashiach thing.
Yeah, 100%. No, nicht masken. Nicht masken. They sich nach a ganze drusche, but kannst du kocht today. Especially Yeshua is much broader than Mashiach, and it means to stop being such a stupid pessimist. Because pessimism is just a deal that can never lose. It's because you're so smart, you always bet that the worst things can happen.
Pessimism
And in the worst case, you'll be pleasantly surprised. You understand? So just because you're so much minimizing your fear of being disappointed, that you always make this prediction of things being worse. But it's stupid. Why?
Sports analogy.
Doesn't help.
You bet against the team you're going for. So either you win money or
Exactly.
Tell me something, no, for real, tell me something as good as bad as the 6 million people died. Tell me something in that realm of good that happened, or in the good.
By the way,
Tach v'tach.
I'm it. Ich kann dich empfehlen. Couldn't contact with that only like 10,000 people died. It's just well
Yeah, 30,
exaggerated.
whatever.
In any case,
30,000, yeah.
the answer is that 6 million people were born. How could that not be an answer to that?
Not in 6 years.
Not
in 6 years.
Okay, so Metz Hashem. In Lakewood, every year 20,000 kids are born. Metz Hashem will be 6 million in a few weeks. In a few years, just make it
Why is time making
figure it out.
more?
For the same reason that time makes it worse.
Ask him.
For the same reason time makes it worse. Time should make it better.
You have to know. You have to decide how to count things. I think that such things happen to people in their personal life all the time. We just have a funny meaning of expecting the good and not expecting the bad, and like pretending to expect the bad, and then we say these funny titles. Okay, this is not nice. I can't get off topic.
Can I say something? Say a
Nish
downside
masken.
to this side. I don't know if this is not the share, but
And again, Mashiach is very bad for a lot of people. Mushel la tale v'tanegel she'mitzat min l'boike. Malach, who was it? The Lamalachem es Yom Hashem. He choyshech v'lo yosh. That in the Novi, one of the three Usar, I forget who. It's bad for you. Don't wait for it. Anyways,
Can I say a downside to this thing that you're saying? That those people?
No.
The downside is that because you're so busy.
Everything
now,
that's bad for one person is good for
no,
another
I'm
person.
saying because things that are structurally bad. The reason because you're expecting things to be so extremely good at all times. Someone hands you on a platter a little bit better, and you won't take it because you don't want to give up on because right. That's the argument. It's like take
It's a good strategy.
small good. Here, but it seems like the good generally comes.
Depending
like
on
you said,
how much power you have in the negotiation.
But it seems that usually the good comes gradually. The way you just said, like babies are not born 6 months one shot, right? You get them slowly. So I say, no, I don't want a baby to be born now. No babies, no babies. No, of course you have one baby, then 2 and 3. So the people who have this very extreme vision, you're right. You shouldn't give up on that dream. But I'm saying the flip side is that they sometimes won't take having one kid being born. They're like, no, I need 6 million to be born today. It's like, how about have one? And there's a tendency that way.
Sounds like another excuse for giving up.
I don't think you should give up. No, I think the answer is you should keep the vision and take the thing. I'm saying if you want to talk about tendencies, I think the argument is that there's tendency to go that way, that there are those people who refuse to take even one small amount of it.
What did you say? Chaim's on the door.
He's saying he moved to Eretz He
No, I'm just talking about the dream. I'm not talking about the Lamasa.
The caught in the dream.
Halach Lamasa is...
No, but I'm saying there's a tendency the other way. He wouldn't be included, but there's a tendency to people who keep that dream too much, who keep that dream, that because of that they don't take small amounts.
I don't know.
Good,
I actually,
which seems to
by
be
the
how
way,
you get to the extreme good.
I actually think, okay, but just to be clear, in the reality, that's not actually what happens. What actually happens is that people take it, they just refuse to give up on the dream. That's what actually happens. Just like, you know, in the, I mean, this is the, like, you know, like, yeah, like, give me an example of something that we refuse to take. This is such a funny thing that people say. Who is the guy, okay, this is going to become politic, but who is exactly the guy that refused to take something that was given to him? Who exactly?
These are, like I said, it's politics. It's going to be very debatable, but you lived in Europe and it was miserable and it's terrible. Notwithstanding Nazis coming, it was just really bad. And you could have moved there, so maybe life would be slightly better.
But that's not actually what happened, right?
I'm not moving.
But that's a dream. That's not actually what happened. What actually happened is the Eden took more of it as well than was given to them.
Maybe those are the other people who
No.
settled on the dream.
I don't know. I only. But you see, if couldn't call. Okay, couldn't call. There's no such a thing as the other people. We already heard all my shirim of Hanukkah. There's only one people called the Jewish people. There isn't such a thing as these Jews and those Jews. If you think there's Jews and those Jews, then we have to go back to Chayda, because this is very important. By the way, another very important thing. None of the people that I've dreamt of their Shchainim, the not such for them Eden going to the Eid and them going to Eretz. That was never the dream. None of my Zaydis ever thought of that. Part of Mashiach, everyone should achieve. Let's be real. But nobody ever dreamt that the Haifali in the Mashiach came. That's Apikarsis. That's the opposite of Spila Mashiach. Of course, even Hungary. I come from Hungary. Just some action. Even the Satmar Rebbe didn't mean that seriously. Some understood it that way. Why do you look at me like this?
Because there was a bruch of Lamal Shinim.
The Satmar Rebbe, when someone actually said that, the Heilige Satmar Rebbe is Heir HaMaaseh. Rabbi Yoelish Teitelbaum, when someone actually said that, he said that this person is worse than the Tzionim.
I don't care what Rabbi Yoelish Teitelbaum said. I care about was the
Rambam. Der Einstein kommt mit dem Lamashinim. Lamashinim is meant God.
Made for.
No, it was not made for. This is mit Lakshen. This is mit Lakshen. Okay, it was made for the Satmar.
It was made for the Yid that became the God. That became
okay, I'm not arguing with this. Ich sag dich Maskune. On this noise, I'm telling you Maskune. If you want to argue, you can argue. Ich nicht Maskune.
I'm trying to understand you. I don't understand what you're saying.
Nicht
I think you're making things up right now.
I already told you Bariches, Udel this in a different time. Ich kann nicht alles sagen auf einmal. That's just the Chagav. Just the Chagav.
That what happens even the one that does take it.
Nach morgen get stuck. Da fuhr weiter in ein Bahn. Kann ich change in Bahn in der Mitte.
You're going to be able to tell them, take this, but it's a minimum?
No, you said not. Never did my grandfathers think like this.
They didn't. They did. No, they absolutely didn't. They said Lamashim also gechippet. Also wie der Heilige Chiddush Rimma gesagt, and he's just repeating what his Baba told him. Okay, people think the Heilige Chiddush Rimma gesagt, as man soll sagen schnell Valchet and lang v'simlich. Okay, that's what all our Babas did. Just to be clear, and it's not air. And if you read the Peitim, none of them are again my Ashkenaz poetry. None of them are marach how many avodas we did. They're all marach a lot more. And Revis to the Avedlik, Admat, Yushatu. That's what they're interested, okay? They're not interested in the Goyim. It's not the ganze Akdumas as the andere Yidden al Gain Dreid. Okay? The Menachem Berespa said that Akdumas, that's He said that, or I made up that he said, I don't remember. But Akdumas, that's the anthem of the Jewish people in Gulis, meaning the Ashkenaz people. Ach weiß ich, was das war, wenn wir andere treffen. In any case, that's what it says in Akdumas. Okay, does it say anything about the andere Yidden going anywhere? No. Schau, so all the Chop, it's Stissam. Es steht la Maschine, es ist Stein, wie es ist. Any case, yeah. Anyways, back to the noise. Back to the noise. So in reality, actually, this is just to be clear. Most of the time, the people that say this, I'm just saying practically, this is politic. Most of the time, people that say this don't actually want you to take something. They want you to give up on a dream.
Again,
because I don't know anyone that was given something and actually gave up on it. Who? Never happened. People say, in other words, what does happen is something like this, right? The kranke version for this. What does happen is that someone says, look, you're not getting any better deal than this, so therefore, cut off your beard and pious, come wear green clothing, and go shluk sich mit the Arab, because that's what you should be doing. And the other guy says, no. The Arab got alle starben when I say more to him, because that's what we're waiting for. And I'm not asking him to give up even one shtickle pious or one Sdir Shal Shabbos with the Nasa pious in the mikveh. You don't have a Nasa pious mikveh to give me over there in the army base. So therefore I'm not giving up on anything, because this is part of my dream. My dream of Mashiach is that every week we go out of the mikveh and we read the Olam. Is that your dream of Mashiach? Is that your Medina offers that? No. So I'll get into it. Now alles the gas noch, but I'm not going to give up on that. If you give me with that also, then we'll have to. That's what they say. No, it's and practically it makes sense. But you see that the machloek is not everyone is masking to take, right? That's where broig is, weil ich kenne nicht, ich nehme noch, ja? Sagt nicht, ich nehme es nicht, ich nehme es einfach, heißt es, dank der von half happy. Ich sage, halb, nicht halb, sag ich, jeder ist happy. But er ist nicht happy, is mit Shem Dem, sagt mir, I should give up on something. I'm not giving up on nothing. So wie der Briskerov used to say, even on the Chunis von Shabbos geht man nicht auf Mashiach kommen. Eiref Tafshilen geht man machen. Mashiach wartet auf ein Tier und macht Eiref Tafshil. Finished. Now, of course, this is crazy guts, because he really believes that he can get a better deal. Still, in some sense, if he would give up, then in my level, he's giving up in a certain sense something. He's giving up to be happy. That's what he's giving up. He's not giving up anything physical. He's giving up being happy. He's giving up saying Hallel. He's giving up that, and maybe it's even nicht Bekdeshe, he's giving up on that, because he says, ich will nicht halbe Mases. And he believes that he can blackmail God this way. You can say that he can. The Brisker will help mehr betochen in Yiddish.
So maybe it's going to only come if you do it halfway, then you get another half afterwards.
No.
Again, we agree.
Again, we got the no problem, but I'm not going to be happy. Okay. Don't tell me I should be happy. Ochet. Ich nehme es. Nobody ever didn't take the half. Nobody. That was never the question, right? When there was when there was discussions in both in the Zionist Congress and by the Agida Congress about accepting the partition plan, the question was never to say no, we want nothing instead. The question was always to sign on the dotted line that says, and we give up our claim on the rest. That was always the question, right? Now maybe this can make the negotiations fall through. I've shown Brutin, but that's always the question. The question is if you give up on it. Do we give up on B'nai Gad and B'nai Rivim? What happened with their Nachla? Doesn't belong to us. Menachem Mitzrayim v'Nahar Peras, go nicht. In any case, that was always the question. Let's go back to the Shmis. So, what do I say? I was saying, the basic important thing that I was saying is that the reason why we shouldn't give up on anything is that there's no reason to think that what we've experienced is stable. It's not stable. Nothing is stable in any way. Nicht die Yiddishkeit and nicht die Goyishkeit, right? Because both of these things, we had the same imagination. The same 1970 people, they have the same dimyon. One of their dimyonis was that their children will stay Yiddish, and the other dimyon was that their children will stay Frim, will stay alive. Sorry. And both of these were fantasies, based on the low interest rate phenomenon, you know. Both of these were based on all kinds of shtissim et lakshin. Very nice, it worked for them, I mean, it's a miracle. But it's not working for us. And there isn't a reason to assume that it will. Therefore, we're back to square one. But we're back to saying that Mashiach should come in the most literal sense. And why can't it happen? Never going to happen. Could happen.
Well, maybe
what kind of things can happen?
Happen with people who don't lose the dream, but do it gradually, and the way we'll get to that dream is by people who do it gradually. I get it as a tendency, So fine, we have to fortify ourselves against such a tendency to give up on the dream. Do it slowly, and that's how it will come. That's the argument, right? It's going to come. A Chalta argument is that this is how it's going to come. So very nice of you saying, I'm not giving up on the dream, but then it will never come.
Again,
So
it depends who you're
urge.
talking about. I don't know who we're fighting against now. Asalt the Gila is supposed to be the solution to this problem, just to be clear. Instead of saying that, because not to be clear.
Because they said, I'm going to take it, but the argument...
No. There's actually people that are serious like this, that are good in this way. Because the word Asalt the Gila is basically the response to this problem, right? It's saying, I'll be pshat, but Asalt the Gila really says is like this. Let's be real. Really, it's the whole Gila. Not only is the whole, it's as good as that's ever going to be. But since we're Frema Yidden and we have it's not clear exactly what. Can you tell me what's missing from the Gila that's only the Aschalte?
The chelik of Bnei God, and also the Bnei God's not here.
That's a schwache maas, is the Pchel. Let's be real. They don't have enough people to live there. Won't be enough.
Well, you need them to come.
Okay, so besides for that, okay? What's missing? After Jordan will fall apart, then we'll have that also. What's going to be then?
The enemy's not agreeing with us, like you said. They don't agree with us.
That was the guilt. The enemies have to agree.
That's what you said, yeah, of course.
I say that, but that's what there was mean.
I don't know. You could. So it's not crazy. I don't know.
Zeggen met Bashir. Why it's only Aschalte?
Why? Because we didn't win all the wars yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much less than ideal. That's the point, because they have a higher ideal.
But just to be clear, that's not historic. This is a nice shtickle to it. The real reason why it's Aschalte is because it's not religious. Whatever that's supposed to mean, nobody really knows what it means. Whatever that's supposed to mean, that's why the people the religious people, Tzachani, they came up with this word Aschalte Gila. Just to be clear, Aschalte Gila comes from the Gemara in Megillah, and
is it changing the dream or changing?
Aschalte Gila comes from the Gemara in Megillah, and it's talking about Melchumas, which are not a Gila at all, right? It's a misreading, it's a made-up term, right? In the Gemara it says, B'Shvi'is Melchama. Mata Shvi'is mit David Bu. Wegen dem Shvi'is sagt man seventh Bruch, I forgot what. Go Yisrael. Frag die Gemara if the Shvi'is, no why it's Shvi'is, but the Shvi'is B'Shmini. Teretz is Melchuma Nami Aschalte the Gila. Right? And that's not a Gila at all. Not even talking about winning the war.
What you should mean is that that I didn't give up on the dream, and when the dream finishes, or whatever, or gets close to finishing, you'll look back and say, that's how it started, right? It did, right? You can trace the point from this point, and you can watch it go closer, and then it will hit close to that dream. Then you'll have eagles flying because we did this action here.
Maybe, right? Maybe not. Why is it so important?
Because it's important to go do that action, in order to get closer towards the end goal. Right? If you're not trying to push the line and to get any closer to the end goal, it seems a little bit farcical to say, "Oh, I'm so busy with the end goal." It's like, no, you're not even trying to get any closer to it. Again, I hear there's a tendency to give up.
Nobody's not trying. Nobody's never not trying. There's a chapnish with this. Nobody's ever not trying. Everyone is always trying. Every Yid ever, unlike what the Biak of says, Shtissim, every Yid ever that had the opportunity to live in Etzro is living there already. Already was. For the last 1,000 years, again, since all the times that I'm talking about. Every single Yid. And actually some more than have the ability. Even right now, there's more Yidden that actually have the ability to live in Etzro living there. Is that the basic thing? Even right now, the Jewish state is sovereign on more land than they have the ability to. You know how I know? I told you earlier the proof.
You got attacked.
We're overextended already. Yeah. And we're doing this because we're taking what we got, of course. There was never someone that had the actual ability. And ability doesn't mean that I should be with a man over there, right? So the Adafran Isaac said that just, and he said, right? But that just means you're under the side of America. You're not under the Irish, right? That's exactly what Adafran Isaac said. And the Tzionim was so not happy because that's a sevura, it's not a luchadik. But that's the reality, right? It's not a kabula, right? If you're in Eretz Yisrael and you're living on American monies, you're living in America, basically. Maybe people are doing that anyways because Kalai Vela, 100%. We've been doing that for a long time also, man. Not for so long, for a few hundred years, not for 1,000 years. But that was a solution to the problem that we had for the first 500 years that it didn't work otherwise. Okay, now we go to America. But I don't think it's true that we're not doing enough. We're doing more than we could. And also always because of Kirch Nefesh, Kambraide, Durchgesan Zaketz, because we don't have another choice. Beside We're already doing more than we could. You only, just to be clear, you only think that there's some people that the only way you could have this imagination of people not doing enough is because you think that there's 2 Klal Yisraels or 7, and there aren't. Nobody, even the most kitzonistic Haraidim are moided that they're only doing one. They're only watching on one part of Klal Yisrael to not fall apart. Maybe they're exaggerating. Maybe they think they're more important than they are. All kinds of things, but that's the reality, right? There's only like one person in the whole world that says, I'm going to learn Torah and I don't care what happens with the Jewish state. They're all saying, I'm learning Torah and somehow Pirachnis begashpes, ich weiß nicht. No, very nice. So, it's one story. There's no way to get out of that story. Even if we want to, we can't. So, it's not a guy. There's only one story, and we have actually people that did the choice of giving up on Yiddishkeit and only doing the Zebedek Fatma Rebbe said, first we'll take care of the gift, we'll worry about the Neshama in 100 years. The people doing that. There's people doing the opposite, like Echad Am said, we have to first build the Neshama, because otherwise the gift is going to fall apart. Right? That was Usha Ginsburg's shitta. There's people doing both of these shittas. And both of them, there's more people that are actually able, because many of them are failing, right? Some of them give up on the Yiddishkeit and they still die, and some of them, how do you call it? And some of them are making so much Yiddishkeit that they die. Both of these things are overextended. And just one machine. From days out it's falling apart here, from that it's falling apart there. We're doing more than we could. If we'll stop pretending that we could split ourselves and think it's only the other guy's fault, then we'll realize that we're all doing more than we could already. And therefore, solutions Mashiach should come. Maybe Mashiach means that everyone should do even more than they could, or they should figure. Mashiach could mean all these things. You should figure out a fantasy what it means. Very important. Just like our Zaydas figured out fantasies of. By the way, nobody ever told him. You know that Yom Tov Elech said, in the Yom Tov Elech, that he thinks that when Mashiach comes, how are we going to get that to Stroll? He made up a nupshat. We're going to make a bridge out of paper and cross the ocean. Why out of paper? Well, it costs Geld to machen mit steel, it's cheaper paper. And it's the Arbeit nicht, I have to machen it. It says in the Gid. No, I don't know where you got it from. You made up a new pshat. So, make up a pshat. You tell me you have a problem that some people are doing ping 2 Yiddish and this, some people are doing 2 this and no problem. Mashiach will come and is gonna ich weiß nicht was. Tell me something. And then maybe someone then can start trying to be that Mashiach.
Exactly.
Now your point is that we should leave things as they are and have Tanis and the other guy that he's not being
No, it's not the point. I'm just trying to bring out. You're bringing out
the people that you're saying no. That's what they say.
You're trying to bring out. I'm trying to argue for the other side.
There's the other side.
Bad tendency that comes out of
the other
this
side.
side.
No, it's not true. It doesn't come out of the side. I'm telling you, that's only works. That whole time only works if you don't think of the Jewish people as one people. There's even some people who are in America because they think that they're going to lobby the American government, and actually, some of them work, or some of them make things worse. There's too much of everything. There's too much Haraidim, too much Chilonim, too much Mizrachis, and too much liberal Jews, and too much Reform Jews. Too much of everything. Not enough. Too much.
Who's doing the most for the dream?
So who's overextended?
The only people that are really dreaming are the Babas and Ma'ashurim. And as the Briskru said. No, this was another thing that I wanted to say. Not a point, it's just after this, right? It's very important to realize. None of the things, unlike what you're saying and other people are saying, none of the things that actually exist are against the dream. You have to realize this. You know who was the last person that I knew that really sincerely was Yiddish Tzioni? Was meant Yiddish Tzioni. Yiddish Tzioni meant as a Yid, was a guy that's when he sees they build an airport. It's already old-fashioned. 20 years ago it was modern. And anyways, and there's streets. The streets over there look better than the streets over here. And the traffic likes work. And it's a lebendige Platz. It's a very lebendige place. It works. And there's the food is good. And the alles, And he says, wow, Mashiach is almost coming. And he doesn't say it because Narish people thought that there still not be traffic lights. There's going to be Maluchim standing in every street lamp and there's traffic lights, right? Because that's what a lot of us are saying. Back to and the real just to be clear, any old-fashioned Yid that I'm imagining doesn't say that. He says, "Wow, there's really diamonds in the traffic lights." And then the Irish police stops him, and somehow it's also.
The traffic light. Oh no, there's malach in the traffic light.
No. Could you know who's Yiddish Tzioni? No, who? Who's like this? Who thinks of things like this? Ev Wolfson. Listen to him, you'll see him saying things like this. He's very much not a Mizrachist. And he very much loves the state of Israel. Including the Midrash Shule. Wie kann ich sagen, nicht so viel die Goyim sind Jiden. Ich habe wie geht's ist, hat Jiddisch. Okay, hat Jiddische Nomen. Does that mean that I'm masking with every Chil Shabbos and Chazar Friday? I'm shatin, but it's not different. It's not a mastira. This whole arendish that the Satmara and the Mizrachis both have, that if you love the fact that there's a Jewish king, okay, prime minister, whatever you call it, that has some COVID, and okay, hat misnag dem auch, but hat etwas COVID in the Welt, and that means that you're king Malchus Bestovid or something like that. That's a stupidity. No Yid that was singing the songs in Ashkenaz thought that. All of those Yidden, just to be clear, that's why they believe in every Mashiach Sheikh, for those reasons, right? All those Yidden, whenever any guy came and went to the Pope and they gave him a Shen Shalom Aleichem, and they were like, well, Mashiach, it's almost Mashiach, right? You can't, just very clear, you can't be a Yid that has this dream, the real dream, the dream that it says in the Siddur and the Piyut and in the Kinnis, and then sees the Prime Minister of Israel, who you're supposed to hate according to all the right-thinking people, and he goes to the American Congress and they all clap for him, and that Yid is proud. You know how? Because I know him, I spoke to him. He told me. Nashichet came in tomorrow, will be even better, and yeah, we'll have a couple ochet, and she'll go in Azan, and ochet hashagit. She'll go like, you have. I think I got that Rebbe in Chayde. I remember who was the prime minister then. Either Bibi or Barak.
The same one.
No, but anyways, and he was like, you know what, it's true, like, they have Yiddish names, they have Hotnish, but the father, the guy is Shimon. It was Shimon Peres before. He's like, Shimon, noch a Shimon. Sachakel. And the guy was a Kanui, a großer Kanui. It's a Yiddish land. What else is that Yiddish land? Let Yiddish, Ivris, whatever, Lushna Kodesh. In other words, the Chassidish Yid that I was talking about, just like when he sees a Shabbos dig Tishtech or whatever, he looks at it with such eyes. He looks at the Jewish state that way. Can't be otherwise. The only reason it's otherwise is because you already bought a whole weird story where days it's anders, we have to throw away that dream for this dream, and therefore, okay, ich bin nicht, der Keusel, ich hab's zu dreit und dann, at gedekach, nein, ich seh, der Keusel, das ist der sagt, der Eibstedt, ich möchte es an dem Gebot der Keusel. Das will ich mir zeigen in dem Leben. Hello? Right? You realize how crazy it becomes. It's a joke. You end up saying things like that. My father told me he taught in a Satmar yeshiva, and he gave a test on, I think, something, Rashi, and he wrote Tzayni HaKadosh or something. They told him he has to delete it. Tzayni HaKadosh. True story. And the guy that is Magachit Yofashnan, the Shiva over there, told him, serious? I said, okay, my head was Williamsburg. That's what happens, but that's crazy. We're all a little stuck in that.
But I thought you were saying a minute ago that like even the right-wing, the Turikarte guy, how did from the Atzayni?
He doesn't mean it seriously when he says this. Of course, he's also part of Klal Yisrael. What do you think he's not?
No, I'm saying...
I think he's really on the side of Arafat. That's not gleich ist. Der macht das gut, dass die einen mogen. Die kann nicht wissen. No problem. We are against that. He has a deal with Arafat that he's going to be the last the last one he kills. Schon, man. Is wrong, and English. Ich weiß nicht, wenn ich auf seinen schmecken. He's not even crazy. He's doing what Eden did forever, man. Literally, he said, "L'mayr Hirsch had such a deal." Teure Vierer got him the schlechtste ausschechten. Something like that. Okay, no problem.
That's a terrible thing.
It's terrible, but like,
Selfish?
if he thinks that that's, it's selfish, I'm asking, but he thinks that that's the reality. If she's angry, that's the reality. Ich weiß nicht, but he doesn't want that to happen. He just thinks that it might happen, so he's trying to take care of at least a few people, the Haifel Eden. Side it.
It's much worse than selfish. Okay, whatever.
So that's also schrecklich. Al Capone is not a guy. Why is he a guy? He's not more a guy than the that Reblazer that said Nemen Alai Adayan. Maybe he's angry. He thinks that the guy has more power than he does. Okay, he's angry. Nebuch. He's confused. Can't be. The Nadir Kartas or these people, they're in some sense keeping a dream alive.
Correct, but then you can't say don't write that time Akdosha. That's my point.
Of course you can say that, but he thinks, ich verstehe, ich mache die ganze
That's
Masse.
the name of the share, by the way.
What?
That's the name of the share.
That what? That you have to say Artaina English?
Natur Kartas.
No, but then there's like this funny, no, it's stupid. There's like this funny, word, like such a funny word. Like either you're like, Medina Yisrael, Yisod Kisa Hashem Ba'ilam, and therefore something, or you're like, it's a pekarsis. What? We don't have to have either of these theories. We can have exactly what my Baba thought. Or still thinks, probably. Not really, I don't know, whatever. But her Baba. And of course, it's not a gil. Of course, I mean, it's like everyone can see. We're not ausgeleist. One of the sorts of Yiddishkeit is that we're not ausgeleist yet. Unlike this is the basic Yiddish machlokes with the Christians, right? The Christians sagen, wir sind nicht ausgeleist, darf man öffnen Augen. Die Jiden sagen, nein, wir sind nicht ausgeleist, aber ausgeleist, man darf man öffnen Augen. That's basically the difference in Judaism and Christianity. But we want to be ausgeleist. We're hoping for it. We're not going to give up. We didn't say, and this is the ausgeleist with Malabdu, as if the Bible today was, darf man öffnen Augen. That's Christianity. Right? And therefore, we very literally, I mean, all these psikim that say, I mean, you know, wir schleimen gebracht mit Tuschev und wir sehen noch da David gemacht als mir. Was mich fragen sie, wie diese Pinkelkeit heißen sehen wir who cares? Nicht mein Problem. We got to do to Paskin that he's David Amelech sein. That the whole Torah works like that anyways, right? But this is just cynicism. I'm just saying that the ideal that the king we have now is the Shmachi king. Again, nicht der Shiva Shivtar Kavurishayno. We have a king, and nicht Kavurishayno. So noch da Rebbe, na Ruch, was nach sagen, but let's be real, nicht the Shivtar Kavurishayno wie Tzach Kavat Chil. But you could, why can't it be? And we're like this funny idea, it can't be, why can't it be? Morgen geht man voten auf Landel an der Schule. It easily could be. Just to be clear, I can even tell you the plan of how it's going to happen. He just doesn't want to. I'm pretty sure it's easy to convince him. Maybe he's not such a good choice. Okay, there are better. So call David Leibel should be whatever. I don't care who. I do care who. Whoever you think is the best guy for the job, it could be tomorrow. There's actually a democracy in Israel still, and you could basically get anyone to be the king. And if you're the king, okay, you could also, by the way, you could also be the bagatz and echtak is on the konig. And Shayan, why is it impossible? It's like so funny, the imagination, how limited everyone's imagination is. Kann ich sagen. Was kann es nicht sagen? Weil the New York Times sagt, dass er gar nicht sagen. Das ist nicht so warte. Everything could be. It's amazing if you read the news, and this Michigan, and this Chashvairish, Melech Tippish, or nobody knows if it's a Tippish, or a Chochem, or a Fachfach. And they look playing it, and they're, all the Kliege people say, it's a Ken Abenish. That's not Kliege, that's stupid. It's a Ken Zah, maybe it will be bad, maybe it will be good, maybe a lot of things, but everything could be. A lot more crazy things than that guy could think of could be. Dieselbe Chachoma, we look at Ken Zah, the Konig auch nicht. No, we should keep on telling us, Ken Zah, Ken alles Zah. Alles kann sein, a viele Mashiach ist mein Baba hat gewollt, hat Ken Zah. Das lernen sich aus. That's why it's Gematria Mashiach when David or something. Because it teaches us that it could be. The ganze is keine Chance, kein Jans, es kann like a Pshita, you have to be so sophisticated. Es meint nicht Pshita, es kann sein Pshita. Wird gesagt, the Rambam said that, what do you think, he has a serious theory, but the Rambam says, what do you think, Zev is going to talk with a Kevis? Right? You really think it's so hard for a Zev to talk with a Kevis? The Rambam had a very limited idea of nature, but what we know of nature is pretty easy. 3 doors from genetic engineering and the Zev is gone with Kevis. What are you looking at me like this? We have the technology, literally do. There's actually people working on it.
What would be the point?
Oh, that's a different kasha. That's really a serious argument that the Ram has. The Ari and the Shkarusha make, okay, what would be the point? Let's be real. Is it geschmack to be a zev that a kevis that the zev chaps? It's not geschmack, right? It would be better that the Ari should be a vegetarian. It's a problem because we have to reorganize the stomach. That's the Ktana. His stomach is not, you read this rationalist. It says the Ari kibuki yerichel, but we know that a lion can't live, literally can't live on without meat. Good morning. You know what he could live on? Beyond meat. They sell it at McDonald's. Easy. A little more expensive. Next week will be cheaper. Genius. Nicht angefallen. And you think it's so hard to change the lion's stomach? We actually know how to do it. Almost. China knows how to do it. We don't know yet because we have ethical standards. Was that gelijk? Gaat this guy food? We can't have chitim and we can't have grapes as big as a house over there like the Meraglim. It's impossible. It's possible. I saw a pumpkin on YouTube bigger than a house. It's harder to do with a grape for reasons. Say that. No.
Make a gazayas the size of the shit gazayas.
Biscuits will have a problem with tomatoes.
His godly azaysim. Anyways, Kim Techos, back to the beginning, I'm going to stop. Kim Techos, that the God's Kreb was wrong. I mean, in Eretz Yisrael, we have in the Gemeshus Beshvat a tiefere chassidische Teure in the Erd. Die Erd hat gemeint, als man darf nicht stoppen. Man darf ja oben. Aber was sagt mehr wie das? And if you can't imagine it, then work on your imagination. And then work on doing it. For it to be mispal. That's what I want to say. The Brisker Ruf said, so Revel was einer gefragt, so he was against the Zionim. And someone asked him, okay, but they won the war. Like, how did they win? And he was very negative. He thought they were going to lose and everything. He said, no, a lot of Yiddinis in Zichni Yaakov and what's it called, in Zichni Moshe and Shias Yaakov, davened Zogtilim, so I have to listen to them. And I wanted to say Chassidus Pshat, so why didn't he say, I said Tillim and I have to listen to me? Because he didn't. He was too smart to say Tillim that the Tzionim will gewinnen. Cheshboin is, yeah. They didn't know, also die Jiden schlugen sich von der Arbeit, die Jiden wollen gewinnen. Und da habe ich das verstanden, die Jiden haben gewonnen. Nice. Very simple.
You have to take that to the next step.
What's the next step?
I think the
Ja,
biggest
it's around to
thing-
daven as Mashiach will come. Kapshitoi. Like, did you ever make you know in Yeshis Yaakov Stillich, there's a minyan Tillim every Wednesday that Levitl HaMadina Tzionis, Leloishim, Peg, Laf Yehidi. I'm going to make a minyan Tillim, Levias HaMashiach. When was the last time you saw such a minyan?
So mamash, this ganze shit is connected that in other words, you do a Mashiach now.
No, when then? I don't understand. The king who?
Burton.
Burton looks Mashiach und Kimi, ja?
Yeah, he says, yeah, halacha now, not Mashiach. You didn't see that thing?
Ich weiß nicht. Ich weiß nicht, was er
That
meint.
thing is ook, yeah. I thought that's what like you're coming again.
Ich darf mit daven, ich weiß nicht.
No, it says it's a process and
Mach hayem
it's
tefillah.
like this.
That's the point. That's what I was trying to say.
Mach hayem tefillah.
What?
Mach hayem tefillah. Try.
Is it?
It's not a steer.
By the way, you should make hayem tefillah, and if it doesn't work, you can figure out what went wrong with your hayem tefillah. Because this whole thing that we daven and nothing happens, and it's minus the normal, this is kind of normal zach. You have to do experiments, figure out which capital tillim we have to say. Try it out in your personal life. Come on, daven fapanus. That was the capital most business in the richtige. So say a different one. I don't know. Something is wrong, right? It's supposed to work. Otherwise, it's burch levatul. You look at me like
It
this.
doesn't bother you, it's a problem.
I'm starting to figure out how many tefillas, maybe a certain amount of tefillas. Okay, we'll find out. Figure out how much. It can't be like infinite. That's another drusha that I have to say in any case.
I think the biggest belief that people don't have is that they don't believe that there could be. It's a good example. It's not the only example. This is that they don't believe there could be a good enough king that will actually be good. They actually don't have vision for a king to be good enough.
Yeah, so we have to do a Dimion Mudrach, how's it called?
They don't actually believe so. They don't actually think it would be a king.
How would it look like?
That you could have no rights and he'd only do good things.
That's from rights, so we'll give everyone rights. What's the problem?
But he'll only do things that are good for you. Like you can't even imagine that.
The difference between a king and a president is not a real difference. It's just a name. It's just that's not the point. That's not real. That's all. Not even getting into this problem. There's some big deals. Why? I mean, we could work out. I don't know. The Koch already said that we could say that the Congress is b'chinas meilech, whatever. We can't try from tritzim. That's not the point.
No, I think for you need to be able to envision.
Nobody said there has to be a king. That's a different discussion, but for sure you have to have such a person. If there isn't that person, then nothing can work anyway. But we have to. How am I going to be that person? For my, ich weiß, drei Chassidim maybe. For sure.
That starts. You only have to add one more. Just keep on going. Keep adding one more.
No problem. The kids say that's this then the kid.
You have to get back to that these days the Tu B'Shvat B'Etzem it's not archaeologically no.
I was right. What do you have? And I told him, no, we do this not in spite of being Shabtai Tzvi. We do it because of Shabtai Tzvi. So this I told you before.
Shabtai Tzvi is an amazing thing because it shows us how people are very fascinated with it because of this. Because basically since then everyone stopped believing in Mashiach. Until the Zionists came and said we have a different Mashiach to believe in. And what I'm saying that we can believe in the Shabtai Tzvi is Mashiach. So we'll make research what he did wrong and we'll do it better next time. You read the Ramban, you read the Rishonim, you talk about Mashiach, you see this is something that you see that it's a fantasy. Of course they know that they don't actually have the army right now, they don't actually have the power, but they could imagine themselves how the world would work and without the clouds, and magic. With the Ramban says in his drusha, the Canaan, someone will come raise an army, go to the Pope, tell them Shalach Hasam V'Avdini, the Pope with Mishmask and give him 10 makas, whatever. It's all things that are reasonable and people try to do it. They didn't have a big enough armies, they lost. But it would be so hard. Think about the medieval world. People did this all the time. Maybe there was a kid in France that raised an army and made a crusade. It's possible to do it. It's still possible to do it, by the way. You think it's hard to raise an army? Vizayas did it. What's the guy's name in Syria? He changed his name last week, so I don't know how to say his name, but he did it. Then it took him 15 years. Not a long time. Can't be done. Could be done. It was done by Ben Gurion. He bought tanks from Czechoslovakia and made an army.
The version of coffee room made an army.
What? And we, after Shabtai, we lost this. We thought that it's not going to happen. So now we figured out that it could happen. And we thought that there's going to be a different plan that will work. It doesn't work. That plan is not inevitable. It's not going to work or anything. So we might as well make a plan that will work. A plan or a hope, guys.
What's the gewalt with Tu B'Shvat not being agriculturally thing? Like you start off with that. You don't want to get back.
Because that was just a way of me getting into the point that people are giving up on the Hecher and Yunim. Well, dann muss ich sagen, Hecher und Yunim sind am Bein. Es geht nicht am Bein. So wie der Shabtai Tzvi gesagt, der Eitz von Tisha B'Av Mai, der Yiche, der Vaya Adne, was ist gemacht, Ilan. And it's Bechal Merames, Ha'aitz HaNechmat, Ben Yishe Chai Wal Adomu, Bechal Merames on the Zah, which is Mashiach, and that's true. And you'll see it. V'rocha Basa Yachdov. Verstehst? It can't work, figure out how to make it work.
So you're like
your
very
ideas
pro
work.
those things that like in the Ami and the Mishpacha that came out like COVID. Mashiach came. You're like.
That gets back to the unstable times.
You're very pro that type of talk. For Eitzim.
It should be that way. You're saying that's natural.
100%.
It's not like those Ogi Klei Techevra say, no, you shouldn't say that.
Ogi Klei Techevra are people that are always looking, they're right, because that's what Chachma is looking for structure and looking for predictability. And therefore Mashiach is never going to come. Weil nicht never going to come, but the Heilige, ich weiß, sie gewähnt, die Ida Kudish, hat Kal Vachoyim, oi Mashiach is come, bis Kal Vachoyim hat jetzt die Jahr kommen. You know this story? It's a Pirim Torah, it's a Levorke Torah, it's one of these things, it's a Polish Asur and Alexander book. Also das ist auch Pirim, hat Kal Vachoyim, es ist Pirim de Kal Vachoyim, das ist Pirim de Kal Vachoyim. Oi, bis jetzt Mashiach is come, Kal Vachoyim, fin hat die Jahr kommen. Now I'm asking you, it's not a Kadochayim, but your Kadochayim is also not a Kadochayim. It makes more sense. Because it's like this fallacy of like gambling, you know? If last time I lost, so now I must start to win. The point is to go against that svure. Weil nechchen je kemen, nechchen hand gar nicht kemen. Nechchen je kemen, is nicht. Hand kann ja kommen. It's for sure because today he could come. Yesterday Kenish came. It's not the guy. It already happened, right? It could only come today or in the future. It can't be in the past, right? So what are you having a hakasha? How did you come in the past? Because it's the past. It already happened. That's why you can't come in the past anymore. Shine. Yeah, whatever you say.